This business is like the Wild West. Gold, silver, rare coins, lost treasures of history. You never know what's gonna walk through that door. Okay, so you got 130 bucks here. Watch this. I'm Evan Kale, and this is Pawn Man. I'd say it brings me no pleasure to say this, but that wouldn't be true. This blunder from the old shop is brought to you by White Owl Books and Import. White Owl Books and Import. Go check them out. So I have another blunder from the old shop I gotta tell you guys about that happened the other week. So about 2 weeks ago, I thought I was gonna get shot in here. This happened.
Hi, how you doing? Purchasing silver. I've got buffaloes, and I've got half-inch rounds, I got 10 ounce bottles. Okay, probably 10 ounce bottles. Okay, they're gonna be $265 each, I got 3 of them. Okay. Okay. Going on 3. Okay. Right now, yeah, I could get you a 100-ounce bar. I'd have to order it. Probably $4 on the spot on a 100-ounce bar. Okay, per ounce? Yeah.
This person called ahead of time and they were unusually formal on the phone, and I've talked about this before. When people are too formal on the phone, it's actually kind of suspicious, because that usually leads to like questionable interactions or just like weird shit happens. So this person says they want to spend like $7,000 in silver, and they come in here and they walk in. They stood right there for about 10 minutes, and they are so rigid and firm, and just their body language is so strained. This person walked in like they had immediately done something wrong, or like they were about to do something wrong and they were like nervous about it. So I'm interacting with this person and talking to them is fucking bizarre, and the guy's just like, his communication skills, let's just say they're very, very, very bad. And he's like nervously kind of like doing this, and I find myself, I have a holster where you can't, like I gotta click a button to pull it out. I find myself doing this, getting ready to be like, God, am I gonna have to like quick draw? Because I thought he was like about to whip out a gun and rob me or something like that. I didn't know what was happening, but I was getting very uncomfortable very quick. And so I'm talking to this person and he's asking me all these questions about silver, but goddamn, he's not coming near me. He's staying like close shooting distance away from me. Because like, you know, you don't know much about guns. You don't want to shoot somebody point blank. You want a couple feet so that you can properly draw an aim. So as I'm interacting with him and I'm explaining the process and how I have a precious metal license and how everything I sell here, I guarantee if there was any issue with whatever, you know, it turned out I sold you fake silver, bring it back, I'll give you a refund. And as I'm talking to him, I realize, oh, he's not gonna shoot me. I think he's on the spectrum. And those of you guys that don't know this, I am too. I obviously have a very like high functioning form, so it's pretty mild, but I recognize that this is what's going on, and suddenly it's like, oh, I bet people treat you terribly because of this. And like, I bet people like don't know what to do about this, and they don't know what's going on. And now that I see what's going on, like, so he starts to worm up to me, and I'm being a lot friendlier. I'm like, come on, like, you can come close, I don't bite, is what I jokingly said to him. So we did a deal. It took 20 minutes, and it was like a lot of rigorous questioning and, you know, making him comfortable here. But we ended up doing a deal. He bought 3,000 worth of silver. He only wanted silver buffaloes. I didn't have everything that he wanted, so he just cleaned me out for what I had. Great sale. Off you went. So he calls me a week later. I recognize from the caller ID, because he was weird on the phone, I recognized the voice. And he's asking me about silver buffaloes, but he's doing it in a way that's like as if he's never talked to me before. And I'm like, dude, I just saw you last week. Like, this is the same person, right? He thinks he's talking to the old shop. And apparently, he's already, this is what I'm gathering, he's entered into some kind of agreement for a large purchase of silver with the old shop. So, but he's mistakenly calling me again. So he shows up here maybe about 2 hours after I talked to him. This is like I said, like a week later. This is about a week ago. He comes in and I'm like, nice to see you again. And he tells me he went to the old shop first and they didn't even give him the time of day. They sent him packing to me as a fuck you to me because they thought he was up to something, and they didn't have any patience to let and see how the situation played out. They think in their heads they're sending me a bad customer and it's funny. All they did was send me another sale. I sold the guy the rest of my buffaloes. It was a $3,500 sale. I made a couple $100. So now this is 2 weeks in a row where their bad customer service, their stupidity has cost them money and made me money. And this just keeps happening. And Well, gosh darn it, it sure is hilarious, isn't it? They say success is the best revenge, and they're right. It is. You know, it would have been cheaper to just keep me on payroll than start a war with me, but... what do you got today? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
oh shit, that's well made.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, CP did a lot of shows down there.
Oh, he's got like a little logo too?
Yeah.
Pit bullion?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He got a good, nice
This is
store on
really
Monday.
high quality. Boy, Navarro, you got competition.
These are 5 grams each?
Yes, sir.
28.
2 or 3 of them.
32, that's 36. 360. So there's 9 ounces of silver here.
I got a buddy in San Diego. He's like super hard to get. Some silver out there sometimes.
Oh, cool. Oh, sweet. Yeah, these are like the Indian head design. I've seen these.
Oh, yeah, these are Britannians.
Are these also a 10?
I don't know. I don't want to lie to you.
Somewhere.
They look a little smaller.
Yeah, these are a 10.
Plus 25 plus 225 is, yep, 395.
Can we do 4?
Sure.
All right, let's kind of go over this. So these are collectible. I can get much better than what I paid him. I'll probably get somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 once all is said and done on all these. And same story with these, collectible. I'll probably, in this whole deal, I'll probably just double up my money. I got 400 in. I might get 700 or 800 out. Let's see if these are, no, these are newer. Yeah, I'll probably break even on these. I might even stick these away because I think these are very undervalued right now. But overall, yeah, good deal. Gotta love getting some silver. It's nice to get some silver at a good price it is. At least I don't have gnarly teeth like I used to. Well, they're getting better, I should say. I got a ways to go. What if this was the rest of the show? I decided I don't want to show my face either, so you just get this.
I have a token I was bidden to show thee.
As I just got off the phone, I got a tip from another dealer. There is an operation going on right now. There's a couple scam artists that are doing a bait and switch. They're doing this thing where they have, I guess, some Figaro chains. They're like 220 grams of 14 karat, but they just went to one store, and I had a friend who was there who's like an independent dealer. He works with other dealers, and he happened to be at the store and witnessed this happen. They tried to do a switch when he said, okay, I'll buy the chains for 7 grand. The guy went to go get cash, and as he went to go get cash, they quickly switched it out for a chain that was a dud. So I got their photo, thankfully, from security footage, and it looks like they're driving a Infinity, one of those like SUV crossover Infinities. So I know what they're driving, I know what they look like, and I know to be on the lookout for it. What I'm kind of hoping happens, I kind of hope he comes in here, because I can use the camera footage. Minnesota's a one-party consent state. If you come into my store, I could put your footage online. If you're gonna try and rip me off, I'm gonna tell the internet all about it. So we'll see if he comes. Let's just hope he comes in for the content and I can shame him. Say thief. Can I do some eagle? Thieves. Filthy habits as thieves. It's okay. We got a whole mess of remote deals to go through. I got a bunch of them Saturday, and I wanted to get out of here on Saturday, so I put them all away. So we're gonna go through those in a minute. One of them I know is gonna be very expensive, but before we get to that, I have some treasures I wanna show you guys because I made a very good buy this morning. I didn't film it, unfortunately. These walked in this morning. They're sterling silver. Now, I took one look at these with the detail. I saw Mexico sterling. That's always a good sign. Usually Mexican sterling means vintage, artisan made, very expensive. Not a whole lot of weight to them. Also a good sign, meaning I don't have to pay very much money. But I'm just looking at this detail. I'm like, God, there's something special here. So I paid 15 an ounce. I paid $22 for these total. And then I asked my Discord, what the fuck is this section? And by the way, you guys, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm not a free appraisal service. If you have a question about what your item is worth, please ask my Discord. It's what it's there for. I simply can't give free appraisals because I get this happening a lot. So I, too, use it. I took a picture, and boom, my Discord found something. This is a 1940s Mexican sterling silver iced tea sipper straw spoon set of 7. You can see I have all 7, and it's going for $245. So what a score that is, which means, you know, $245, I don't know if I'll be able to get $245 on these, but I just made a TikTok, I'm asking $215, we'll see if I get it. At the very least, I bet I get $190. Paid $20, can't go wrong there. So with that though, let's get to these remote deals. Before we do, I wanna quickly say I am This is sponsorship is what's going on now here on Pawn Man. I am taking sponsors. I want to thank Charlie Mack, New York City, Brooklyn on Instagram for sponsoring this part of the video. As you can see, he sent me a lovely shirt and bandana, and I promise I won't wear this too much longer because I'm aware how ridiculous I look right now. I have several remote deals in front of me. Like I said, these ones I can breeze through pretty quick, I think. This one's gonna take a while. So let's check out this first remote deal here. As you can see, remote deal undone. That's what I did on Saturday. Let's go ahead and dump it out. Looks like 1 troy ounce, 999 silver coins. 1 ounce silver coins. Oh, cool. So, kind of a mix of privates and government silver. I recognize this Congo piece. So, we got 2, 4, 6, 7, and a gram. I'll go $1 on the gram. I'll go 25 an ounce on this stuff. It's above market right now by a couple bucks. So 50, 100, 150, 175, 176. Plus, it's a Pandora bracelet. I got no idea what Pandora jewelry retails for. Oh, they couldn't have found the body that quick. Yeah, no way. Yeah. Uh-oh. I hid that thing well. So it looks like we got 18.3. Oh, fuck it, I'll pay above melt. I will offer 20, 51, 50, call $200 for everything. Just kidding, there's more in here. There's gold. Okay, so melt value here is about 170. I'm gonna offer 140. The turquoise earrings, there's just a pinch of gold off for 10 bucks on them. And how big is this gold coin? Is it a gold coin? Because I have seen gold, like gold bezels with like a fake gold coin in it. 1492 Christopher Columbus discovery. That does not seem to have any indication if it's made of gold or not. So what I'm gonna do, it's probably too small for my Sigma. Borderline don't like Christopher Columbus anyway, for history. So I'm gonna just drop some acid on it. Speaking of sponsors, thank you Gold and Silver Testing for the free acid. God, you guys are getting your money's worth. Okay. Put some acid on Mr. Columbus. And Mr. Columbus is not turning colors, so Mr. Columbus probably is gold. I'm gonna do one more thing just to double check, because this is a $300 mistake if I'm wrong. Okay, so this is not registering on my Sigma. What I'm gonna do is either offer to pop out the coin and send it back, or I'll just see if they want me to send this piece back, because this is, I mean, the weight on it alone doesn't make any sense. I don't think that's a gold coin. It weighs 2 grams. Usually what happens is I see 1/10 of an ounce in a bezel, and 1/10 of an ounce is 3.1, so that doesn't even weigh half. Like the weight on it just doesn't make any sense. And by the way, if you're wondering how would I determine what to pay on this, what I would do, put it on the scale, and then subtract 3.1 from whatever the total weight was, because that's the weight of the bezel left over. Because, you know, the gold coin, like I said, 3.1 grams if it was 1/10 of an ounce. So I don't want to make a mistake on this, and it would totally, if I did make a mistake on it, negate all the profits of this deal. So I'm going to get in contact with, God damn it, whoever VGV Tony is. Now I gotta go through my 250,000 followers and figure out which one of them is VGV. Again, you guys, just please put your contact info with your full name, all that stuff in an envelope when you send it to me. It makes it just so much easier for me. So, okay, so first deal, tentatively is $350. That shall sit in my back room until it's claimed. Moving on. Hi, Evan. My name is Daniel. My PayPal is here I have some mixed costume jewelry and some 925. You can text me at with an offer. Look at, see how hard was that? So here we got a little bag of stuff. That's costume. This is not. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take this off. This is like making my head hot, and I look fucking ridiculous wearing a bandana. That is plated. You'll see that turning green right there a little bit. That is definitely not silver. Kind of just ruined it too. So ultimately, it looks like this person sent me mostly costume and just like a teeny, tiny amount of sterling. Now, what they did send me is a Tiffany chain. Maybe I should wear a mask. So this Tiffany chain potentially is a couple $100. I gotta confer with my jewelry person tomorrow. I bought a few Tiffany pieces recently that have either been not authentic or the charm is real, but not the rest of it. And so I basically just overpaid a lot on some sterling. So I'm gonna confer with her, and again, I guess we will table this. Right now I'm gonna say I'll probably offer like $100 on all this stuff. Now we're gonna move on to the big deal.
So I've done a lot of business with this person, and I have been putting this off because I knew this was gonna be expensive. Like, this is gonna take me a while to go through. But they have included all their info. I mean, not just the fact that I know them, but they got everything here. They got their Zelle on a piece of paper. All right, let's go through all this good stuff.
A lot of these I'm gonna have to look up, they're graded. So while we're going through these coins, Charlie Mack wanted me to tell you guys briefly about the history of Brooklyn. I go to Brooklyn a lot. I got some friends out there. I've been out there like 10 times. I love it there. I think it is such a great place to visit. If you've never been to New York City, I can't recommend it enough. The only thing is it is just so ungodly expensive. I used to want to live in New York City, but the reality was I knew I was gonna have to work at least 3 jobs and it was gonna kill me. And the fact is, had I made the leap out there, I bet COVID would have pushed me out. So some facts about Brooklyn. It gets its name from the Dutch town of Brooklyn. It is New York City's most populated borough. 2.7 million people call Brooklyn home. And of course, we got some fun facts that Charlie wanted me to mention. Tootsie Pops come from Brooklyn. Who knew?
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
They're invented in Brooklyn in the late 1800s. Coney Island's Wonder Wheel is known as the most romantic Ferris wheel in the world. Still operating to this day. Credit cards also come from Brooklyn from the 1940s. Shops wanted to be able to extend credit to their customers. As part of a P.T. Barnum showcase event, 21 elephants once crossed the Brooklyn Bridge. It was to showcase just how safe the Brooklyn Bridge was. This was also because, and I didn't know this, I guess the Brooklyn Bridge, constructing it, was a meat grinder of workers. A ton of people died making it, or it was just like very, very dangerous. So it had kind of a bad reputation going forward after it was newly constructed. And they marched 21 miserable elephants across. I'm sure those elephants were all treated very well for the rest of their lives. And finally, loads of celebrities also come from Brooklyn. Some notable names include Larry David, the child molester Woody Allen, Jay-Z, the shrieking banshee Barbra Streisand, Judge Judy, Eddie Murphy, Nas, Spike Lee, and Adam Sandler. So those are just some fun facts brought to you by Charlie Mack, New York City, Brooklyn. Charlie Mack is a Brooklyn native. He's born and raised. He's a veteran. He's a World Trade Center responder. And you guys should go follow him. Anyway, what can I pay for all these coins? Well, let's lay them out here.
A few moments later.
Some of this stuff I recognize. I for sure sold him this. And what's funny, I was actually thinking about this recently because I kind of wanted to buy it back from him. I do. These Constitution coins from the US Mint, these are not very expensive. However, this toning is really cool. I've never seen one that's got toning like this. So either I will keep this for my own collection or I will send this in to get graded. But I'm glad that this is coming back. So an assortment of graded coins. We see some from ANECS. They're like limited edition Canadian pieces commemorating wildlife. These are, I think they're all made from silver. So like peregrine falcon, Canadian bald eagle, a mountie, which I guess is a creature of Canada. So these are pretty good scores. I gotta look them up. He's sending me two 9/11 World Trade Center recovery coins. This one has a score.
And as we've talked about, because he sent me 2, they either come uncirculated or they come with a score. If they're uncirculated, I could probably get about $200 on it. I'll offer them $150. If it's got a score, I can probably get $400 on it. And this, I am gonna stick away in my collection if I do a deal with him.
He also sent me some ancient, well, I don't know if 1808 India is ancient, but it's a widow's mite. This is worth about $25, $30. Got some limited proofs. I did sell him these, and I'm glad I'm getting these back. These are expensive. These are like $80 an ounce. I can't pay him that and won't pay him that. And if you're like, Evan, you're a pirate. Well, what I like about this, and this is why I don't like you guys, like if I sell you something, please don't sell it back to me. I just don't feel right about it, but I have to do what I have to do. And the fact is, I paid $14 an ounce for this when I worked for the old man and I sold each of these. I think I got 80 bucks on them. And I can't reasonably give them full, like I just can't do that. I'm running a business. So the Mandalorian I'll sell, the Millennium Falcon I'll sell. So all this stuff here, I gotta tally it up and figure out what I can offer. But what I'm not gonna be buying, I don't want stuff like this, these modern presidential dollars. I don't want clad, uncirculated Kennedys from 2006. They made so many Kennedys, you guys, just spend them. I don't want clad quarters. I don't want these dollar coins. I don't want modern Federal Reserve notes that have interesting serial numbers or whatever the hell is going on. I don't want modern circulated star notes. I just don't want to buy them. So some of the stuff I'm sending back, but now I gotta run through to a tally and see what I can pay. Okay, looks like I got prices for just about everything. Let's add this up here. We came up with $1,938, and that's including adding $60 for shipping. I'm gonna just not dick around with him and offer him $2,000 flat. The main reason being, I do a lot of business with him, and like straight up, like I'm buying some stuff back that I'm just fucking making money on this, like these here. So I gotta be kind of fair. All right, so we're gonna offer him $2,000. Well, it's a couple days later, and we did reach a deal. So that Tiffany piece, as I thought, I had my jewelry person look at it. Whole thing was fake. And the large silver deal, I came up to $2,000. He wanted 3. Which, like, I don't think I could have gotten 3 on that. Maybe, just maybe. It like kind of didn't make sense for my margins. On top of that, I bought 6,000 or so worth of stuff from him a couple months ago, and I basically paid him what I was gonna get out of it. I kind of broke even, and I just don't want to break even. I'm running a business here. I need the money. I need the profits. If I'm gonna take the time and effort and energy into something, I need to have some kind of money coming out of that. And so he wanted 3, I wouldn't do 3, and I wasn't like, well, I'm gonna send it back to you. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I ended up paying him $2,250, so I'll make probably about $400 or $500 on the deal, maybe. And that's the conclusion of the remote deals. Go buy my merchandise, so I'm not sleeping under a bridge in 6 months. I don't want to get addicted to crack, but I will do what I have to. If I go hobo, I'm gonna go full hobo. So let's make sure that doesn't happen. All right, well, this good bit of fun is brought to us by Cecil Fisher. Let's thank Cecil Fisher. Let's take a look and see what you got. All right, so we're starting, oh my goodness, we have a watch today. It's like,
Brand new.
I don't know if I'd call that. You got an interesting idea, brand new. My gosh, there's currency and coins. It must be my birthday. So it's a Route 66 novelty watch. A pulsar sonar. Key fob, looks like it's stainless steel. And Elgin, here we go.
Do the best you can, dude. I want you to make money on the stuff. Do the best you can. You don't cut yourself.
Okay, what else you got?
Ooh.
Whoa.
Sorry,
That's okay.
I told you. Sorry.
I caught it. So we got ourselves some cufflinks. This whole set's probably gold filled.
Is that good?
Well, it's better than nothing. That'd be at $30. Okay. Okay, well, sorry I couldn't make a deal. Well, thanks for coming by. Now I wonder, where the hell has that shit been this entire time? Because if he had brought me that caliber of shit from the get-go, we would have done more business together, and I would be less outraged and confused as to what he's bringing me and why he's bringing it to me. The watch that he gave me that I thought was gold-filled wasn't. He did have some gold-filled jewelry, but like it would have been worth, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 bucks. If I would have paid him 75, I wouldn't have made any money in that deal. At least he brought me something relevant to my industry this time. Maybe he's learning. No, I doubt it. I severely doubt it. This is exciting. I think this is only the first or the second one of these that I've ever sold, but I just sold a $50 con artist mystery box. So let's go downstairs and see what I can send this person for 50 bucks from the con artist. So I'll use this. So they're gonna get Kill Bill, this fucking thing, a bunch of seashells, a picture of a, I don't know, one of those, a dove, this seashell, oh, a poncho. Okay, it's also good for packing. The Con Artist, one of the many great staples of St. Louis Park gold and silver. Come on by and meet the Con Artist. Oh, wow. God, I don't know how this got here. This is a real photo, actually. I kind of want to frame this. So this was Friday, September 14th, 2001. I remember this very well. My mom took my friend and I to Olive Garden on a Friday night. So obviously it was right after 9/11. And we were leaving and we saw these guys walking with this flag here. Like they're just walking in the rain, holding up a flag. Back to making fun of that shit dick sociopath. All right, there's my con man mystery box. You know what I'm realizing though? Boy, how things have changed. As I'm looking at this, you know what I'm realizing now? If you see some gentlemen walking in the rain with tiki torches and an American flag, you might jump to some different conclusions. Well, they still think they're good patriots, but therein lies the problem. Which one of these guys do you think stormed the Capitol? Or you think it was all three of them?
Really quickly, guys, before we get into the episode, this episode of Pawn Man is brought to you by these wonderful sponsors. Give them a follow, give them your business, give them their money's worth. They're helping me a ton by sponsoring me. And let me know if you are interested in sponsoring an episode of Pawn Man. All right, guys, for this episode, we are talking all about famous coin scams. But before I get into it, I want to quickly thank my sponsor for the monologue, Wall Street Silver on Reddit. Go check them out, join the community, and follow them. And without further ado, let's talk about some wrongdoings in numismatics. One of these days, I'm gonna have a stroke when I do that, and it's gonna stick. And then I'm gonna walk around for the rest of my life like this. Coins, both for numismatic and metal value, have long been the subject of scams. With prices swinging all over the place and value being tied to things that can be very subjective, it's a ripe opportunity for scammers to take advantage of people. Coin scams particularly prey on condition, perceived rarity, and authenticity. Unsurprisingly, a huge sector of coin scams, as we're gonna cover, involves boomer shit. That kind of shit that you see late at night where they want $30 for a coin, and it turns out the coin is silvered, layered in silver. It's copper, and they're charging silver prices, stuff like that. And usually what this is biting into is the elderly crowd are looking for safe places to store their money and take care of future generations of their family, and they're susceptible, they're gullible. They think, oh, this must be a great opportunity here, this rare coin that's gonna go up 1,000-fold according to what I see on TV.
Because this coin has worldwide limited availability, it'll become harder to acquire and should only increase in value.
I mean, you guys have seen it when people come in with their boomer shit boxes, and a lot of times it has the original price tag on it. It's like, you know, I'll give you $100 for the box, and I bet Grandpa spent almost $10,000 on it. And this is a coin, it's actually a collectible coin, but what's being sold to you as a consumer is bullshit, or at least is grossly inflated prospects. And we'll get into this. This is what my dad's case, my dad's federal indictment involves, why he was charged with mail fraud. And as we talked about in episode 41 of Pawn Man, if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. Coin grading is subjective. It's just a matter of how you portray what you're selling and what you're selling and what you're saying about the item that you're selling. So sham graders, you know, we talk about that all the time. This is people who say like, oh, this coin's an MS-66 when, you know, really it's extra fine and clean. The most blatant scam that we're gonna cover is just preying on the overall authenticity of the coin. They tell you it's gold plated. They tell you it's silver layered in silver, or it's, you know, not even silver at all. Coin scams, you guys, rake in a lot of money. Millions and millions of dollars every year. They can also have massive effects on an economy if the scam is big enough and the bubble pops fast enough. So with that, you guys, let's get into some of these coin scams. The first one that we're talking about dates all the way back to 1649. This was known as the Great Potosi Mint Fraud. This was an early scam that involved the first national mint of Bolivia, which was founded in 1572. Potosi was founded as a small mining town near Cerro Rico Mountain, and this is a mountain with enormous resources. Particularly, silver ore deposits were abundant. So King Philip IV of Spain ordered coins to be struck at 93% purity. So where it gets interesting, in 1648, it was asserted that the 8 reals that were being made there, the silver value in them was actually, it was worth more like 5 reals. It was not the same size 8 real as what was being struck elsewhere, it was smaller. And later royal trials would confirm that the coins are being struck with only about 75% of the silver that they were advertised to be having, or what they were supposed to be made from. So where this gets interesting, we covered Spanish reals on an earlier episode of Pawn Man. You guys remember that? It was known as the coin of the world because the Spanish Empire was huge. They had control and influence all over the world. They circulated their coins all over the world. They were common barter items. You know, we talked about shop marks and how different places all over the world had their own forms of taking these reals, using them, trading them. We had them here in the United States until the mid 1800s. So suddenly, this coin that everyone is using, turns out a bunch of them are not as good as you might think. They're still good, but they're not good. They're only 75% of what they should be. This causes economic panic. So because of this, people lost their faith in the currency, which, you know, it has massive effects all over the world. The effects of this coin scam happening around the world impacted Spanish war efforts, impacted trade, it completely paralyzed trade in some portions. It had massive negative macro effects. And these coins had to be countermarked to denote their real value, which fucked things up even more. This was felt for decades. This is how much of a problem is created. All right, so moving forward a couple hundred years now, we're gonna go into the 1980s in Japan. In the late 80s, Japan issued a 60th anniversary commemorative for Emperor Showa. The coin weighed 20 grams. It was worth $275 gold value at the time, but it was given a face value of about $700 US. Japan, it was 100,000 yen. And of course, this leads to counterfeiting, which turns into like this $80 million scam. Since the face value was so much higher than the gold value, it just made a ripe opportunity for criminals to take advantage, and they did. And this was also because this coin is very easy to obtain. It seems like they did not keep the dies under lock and key like they do here at the US Mint. And when you have something that has a face value that is like comedically high against its actual worth, I mean, you're just begging for problems. And since we're in the 1980s, let's quickly talk about my dad. So in the process of discovering Dietmar Proof-like Morgan silver dollars, which he discovered, he did nothing wrong there. Where it got messy was what he was advertising. And this is where, just in general, you can't do this. You can't advertise something as an investment. That's fraud. And even if you discover something great, you can't announce that it has a set price that it's gonna go to. You can't say you're gonna get more money out of this for sure. And that's kind of what my dad was, not kind of, that's what he was doing. He was advertising Morgan silver dollar Dietmar Proof likes as being this hot thing that you could buy now for next to nothing and make a gajillion dollars on in time. Now, turned out he was right with a lot of it. It took a long time, but in the 1980s, there was a coin boom and bust, and he sold people, he exorbitantly charged people these Morgan silver dollars with a projection in mind of where the price was gonna go. And indeed, it did go there, but it didn't go there in 2 years. It took several decades. And as a result of that, when the bubble popped, a lot of people lost a lot of money and were pretty pissed at my dad. So by discovering Morgan silver dollar Dietmar Proof likes, he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, the government tried to make it more of a complicated case. They ended up going with mail fraud because it has like a 98% conviction rate. And they just boiled it down to, well, you're using the mail, you're advertising these coins as being a sound, surefire investment, you are guaranteeing it, and you're overcharging people, you're defrauding them. So that's what happened. Now, I've said this again and again. You, can't advertise coins as an investment. I never do that. I speculate that it could be, as long as I say the word could, not will, as long as I'm using abstract and not concrete, then I'm not doing anything wrong. But I never, my dad didn't do this either. I never sell coins at a set grade. I don't have the authority to grade coins, and this is what a lot of coin scams come from. We'll talk about this shortly here. People overinflating a grade and selling it at that price when they just fucking pulled that grade out of their ass. It's a made up number. If you want to have a coin graded, you send it to the authorities. That is who you should buy graded coins from, no one else. At least in terms of if you are buying a specific score. You can't say coins are going to be worth this. You can't offer a future prediction as a concrete fact. That is fraudulent activity, and that's, well, that's what nailed my dad. Okay, now we're gonna move forward a couple decades. The pandemic was a criminal's wet dream. Everyone's distracted in chaos. Everyone's looking this way, and smart criminals will do a little Kansas City shuffle, to quote the movie Lucky Number 11. I love that movie. Everyone's looking this way, you go this way. So everyone's distracted by the pandemic. Well, let's take advantage and do some crime. Since the economy was in turmoil and there was all kinds of speculation about which way it could go, what kind of shitstorm we were entering into, are we gonna be in a Mad Max situation?
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
It made a great opportunity for criminals to set up some faulty bullshit, particularly in the volatility of precious metals. So the FBI issued an official warning on online auctions and sales sites for particularly silver coins. Many of these coins that were for sale suddenly popping up in the pandemic were counterfeits from China. They didn't have silver, or they had just, like a trace amount, but it's copper beneath. In April of 2021, at O'Hare International Airport, Customs seized 279 packages from China of counterfeit money and silver coins. And that's just O'Hare Airport. This is one little incident. That's a lot of stuff. And then there's also Metal.com. You guys know about Metal.com? Metal.com targeted retirees using like politics and like religion. Oh, you like Christ? Well, Christ wants you to get wealthy, and we have these coins. Great way for you to get wealthy. Oh, you support President Trump? Well, President Trump wants you to buy these coins. Here, they have his face on it. Support President Trump and buy these coins. Metal.com is expected to have taken upwards of $185 million from people. They preyed on the elderly, they used market instability against them, they preyed on politics, they preyed on political turmoil. What's really bad about this is this is taking old people for everything they have. They've worked their whole lives and then they just get chewed up and spit out and they truly have nothing. And they can't work for more because they're old. Another one is Rust Rare Coin. This was a $200 million trading / Ponzi scheme that defrauded investors. There were at least 700 victims, and it's nothing exciting. It's just like a whatever Ponzi scheme. People giving their money, being told that they need to keep giving more to keep making the investment grow, but really all it is getting more money from new victims to pay off the old victims to keep the scam going. And eventually, you know how Ponzi schemes work. The whole thing comes crashing down eventually. Finally, we're talking about CoinGate. In 1996, the state of Ohio passed a law that Ohio could only invest in bonds. A gentleman named Tom No was at the center of all this. He used political connections and he gained a bunch of contracts. The promise was to invest the funds in rare and valuable coins. Eventually it was unearthed that Tom No stole $13 million from the fund. They did an audit, they found there was a ridiculous amount of money missing. Mr. No got convicted, he served 14 years, and then because of COVID, it looks like they let him out early. Oh boy. So in conclusion, coin scams largely prey on the elderly. It's one of those things you can avoid if you just use common sense, know what you're looking for. I make a lot of content about coin scams, about how to avoid it, because it just infuriates me when I have people coming in here bringing me a box of boomer shit and I see the original receipt for thousands of dollars, and these people think that they're gonna get thousands of dollars, and it's like, no, I'm sorry. Your grandpa got scammed and nobody got prosecuted. What's even harder about coin scams, they can be very hard to prosecute, and it is even harder to give victims their money back. Many cases rely on subjective value of items, rarity, investment value, and accepted value, which again, varies a lot. At the end of the day, these scams aren't going anywhere. They still get perpetrated. Like I said, any kind of a fraudulent activity that's hard to prosecute is gonna be great for criminals. On top of that, so few people know about coins, it is really easy to scam people. I bet if I went out and I grabbed okay, right here. This is a Carl Goetz medal I have from last episode of Pawn Man. This is one that I bought loosely. It's iron, I paid $25 for it. It's from 1915. It may or may not be a copy, I honestly don't know. But I bet you I could go out and convince somebody to give me $1,000 for this. Bet you I could. You know why? Because the average person I hand this to isn't gonna know the first fucking thing about it. They're gonna listen to what I tell them. They're gonna listen to how I inflate the value with pretty words, and by the end of it, because I speak with a position of authority and I sound like I know what I'm talking about, particularly if I was talking to an older person, I bet you I could get them to give me that. And that's the problem with this, is people are wholly uneducated about coins, and older people, they just tend to fall for this stuff more. We'll see if younger people do. I mean, look at all the cryptocurrency scams. Maybe we'll cover that in the future. But in conclusion, just use your head. If you see it advertised on TV, it's probably a scam. If you hear the words guaranteed investment, for sure winner, will go up X amount of money, you know, it's bullshit. It's fraudulent is what's happening. Nobody can predict the future. Nobody can tell you for sure something is gonna go up or down in value. People can speculate, but as soon as they start selling it as a fact, get out and run. They're trying to take your money. Well, just like that, it is the end of the day and the end of the episode. If you guys like this video, be sure you give it a thumbs up, hit that notification button so you guys know new episodes of Pawn Man are coming out. Let me know if you want to become a Pawn Man sponsor. Join my Patreon, join my Discord, follow me on social media, @EvanKale, @PawnMan. Get my books, and I will see you guys back here for another episode of Pawn Man. Later, guys.